Yes, we have some volatility going up and down. But yeah, we just gone through this not too long ago. In fact, about a week ago, multiple times. Okay, and we fell down as low as 60,800. So just know that this happens. But why all of a sudden? Why suddenly? Well, that's what I'm going to explain. There's two reasons, I think. Number one is this week we're in a new quarter. We're in Q2. And this week we have Daddy Powell that's going to be speaking this week. Okay? Not only him, but all the other FOMC members will be speaking. I don't know why, but people are still kind of like cautious ahead of a speech. Anytime Powell is set to speak, there's volatility right beforehand. I don't know what it is, but it happens like every single time. So actually, if you look at the US market, it's also selling off. I think people are quite worried about what he may say, even though he already said 3 rate cuts are coming this year. So I don't know why people are afraid. It's not like he's all of a sudden say, well, we're going to raise rates today. You know, like that's not going to happen. So what is people afraid of? I don't quite know. So that's number one. We do have that. Okay. Number two is what's happening right now is another wipeout of leverage. Okay. And that's what's happening. Yesterday's flash crash again wiped out $165 million in longs. Okay, and it's continuing. It has not stopped. Look at this. It's ugly in terms of the longs, the long squeezes, okay, that's been happening. And I do believe that every single time this happens, this is the primary reason to get rid of all the leverage plays. And I'll show you a heat map that shows you exactly that, okay? Obviously, with the dip, you could see, look at what has happened, okay? This is the heat map of leverage. You could see how heavily yellow and orange is like very, very, very heavy leverage. And then green is basically no leverage, or blue, right? And you could see people were making money left and right all the way up to about March 14th. That's when we had a huge dip and wiped out basically everyone. And then we had a whole period from the 14th to the 25th that basically no leverage because people were afraid, too much volatility. But recently, things have started up again. And you can see from the 25th to the 31st, a lot of leverage again because people were making money thinking that the volatility is over. And then boom, what happened? Yesterday happened and wiped out all the leverage once again. You can see on the very right side, all green. It's all gone. So I actually think this is what's happening. It's like they are, I don't know, I can't say who, the exchanges, maybe the exchanges themselves, the market makers. They're having a whole lot of fun wiping out all the leverage, guys. That's what they're doing. They're wiping everyone off. They're cleaning the slate, so to speak. Okay? And I think that's exactly what's happening. Because they know that there's too many people that are too greedy, setting their crazy leverage, and this is just a simple way to wipe them off and liquidate them. Keep in mind, who wins? Who wins with liquidations? Well, you could argue the other side, but really, the ultimate winners are the exchanges that's offering the futures. They make their fees no matter what. They're going to win. They're the house. They can't lose. It's like going to a casino. The house can't lose, basically, right? That's the same way the exchanges. So I think this has a big thing. This is the primary reason why it's happening. So this week, I think because of Fed Chair Powell and because the market makers / exchanges want to wipe out the exchanges, this is what happened, right? And it should have happened yesterday, but because yesterday was April Fool's, I think there was a break there. But, I think this was already set and planned. So that's really it. But like I said at the beginning, Have we seen this before? Yes, just last week and the week before that. And earlier in March, we had this happen many times already. So there are a lot of people that I see in the live chat. I don't know if you guys are trolling or not. Like people are like calling, oh, 50K by lunch, or 50K by this, or whatever K by whatever. Okay, we're not going anywhere, all right? We're still sitting in the 60s, and we're still perfectly fine, but you just got to be careful, right? Right now, there are still a lot of people pulling the strings, who I call the market makers, and they're doing some fishy things right now. That's what they're doing, right? So don't fall for the trap. Don't get fudded out. Stay in the game. Stay in the game. Make sure you don't leave, no matter what. Something else that's not helping right now, also starting with this week, and we'll see how today is Grayscale. Okay, now Grayscale last week, even though they dumped, there was more buying in the ETFs than Grayscale selling. But yesterday, unfortunately, we went back into red because Grayscale sold another 300 million, and BlackRock and others could not compensate, could not make up for it. There's a negative 85 million net flow. That's bad. That's bad, right? So part of it could be from, Grayscale settling after the market, but, it's kind of weird time. I don't think it has to do with that at all. But still, this is a ongoing thing. Still waiting for Grayscale to stop. I don't know when they're going to stop. Or whoever's selling Grayscale shares, they're just not stopping. They just keep on selling, right? And it's getting tiresome. I know I'm sick of covering Grayscale selling 300 million per day or 400 million per day. That's just ridiculous. I still don't know who's selling so much from Grayscale, but eventually it's going to stop. Eventually Grayscale is going to have nothing, and basically they're going to be out of business. And all that business will go straight to BlackRock and Fidelity. As long as we have buyers, as long as we have whales, as long as we have long-term investors, it's okay. It's okay. Like this guy right here, Mr. 100, that continues to buy. He bought 600 Bitcoins today, 400 yesterday, accumulated over $3.8 billion worth of Bitcoin. That's even with the drop. So regardless, who's selling at Grayscale does not matter. Long-term holders will prevail over time. Long-term holders like you and I, and then the whales, and you got like Tether now. I covered Tether buying by the billions. MicroStrategy still buying by the billions. El Salvador and the funds, it's all going to add up. There's only so much Bitcoin to go around. So whoever's selling right now, they're going to regret it dearly later on. So don't follow the sellers, follow the buyers.